Hey, everybody, welcome to the Addiction Unlimited podcast, where you get to learn everything you want to know about addiction and recovery. I'm your host, Angela Pugh, co-founder of Kansas City Recovery, life coach, and recovering alcoholic. To learn more about me, you can listen to episode 0 on your podcast app or find us on the web at addictionunlimited.com. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. I'm your coach, Angela Pugh. Nowadays, you hear about all sorts of strategies and tips to help you thrive in sobriety, from creating a perfect morning routine to learning how to navigate social events without alcohol. The advice is everywhere. And all of these strategies are incredibly helpful. But what we don't talk about enough are the mindset pitfalls. Those sneaky little traps that will quietly derail your progress if you aren't diligent. And that's exactly what we're diving into in today's episode. Whether it's managing expectations, having a clear direction, or handling that all too familiar craving to escape, these are key areas that can make or break your recovery. And don't worry, we're going to break this down in the simplest, most actionable way possible. You're going to walk away with a crystal clear understanding what these pitfalls are, why they happen, and exactly what you can do to stay ahead of them. And the first thing I want to say here is I want you to look at your recovery as a long game, not quick or instant results, right? You are healing. You are changing lifestyle habits and retraining your brain to have a positive and healthy mindset in a different life. This all takes time, deliberate action, intentional habits. That's how you move forward. And this will mean that you have to take it day by day, sometimes hour by hour, to give yourself the best chance of healing, growing, and recovering. And what I want to start with here is expectations. Expectations are premeditated resentments. Think about that saying for a few minutes. The more you think about this phrase in different situations, the more you realize how accurate it is. How many times have you had an event or something, a party or your own birthday party or your Christmas party or whatever the thing is, and you have it in your head, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. You're super excited. You've planned every detail, and it's going to be the time of your life. Only to get there and have it be a total dud, not fun at all. We've all been through this, right? It's because we create these expectations of perfection, and we have expectations on how we're going to feel, how everybody else is going to feel, how we're going to behave, how other people are going to behave, how they're going to greet us, how they're going to love us. We have all these expectations, and there's no way the real life situation can live up to those expectations. And then when you're disappointed, because nothing can live up to the expectations, that's when it shifts to resentment. And we do this with everything. We create expectations around everything. How our morning's going to be, how our work day is going to be, how that work call's going to go, what they're going to say to me, how fun it's going to feel. We have expectations around everything. And I'm going to share a little story with you about a client of mine, Sarah, because this just happened the other day. Okay, when Sarah decided to quit drinking, like all of us, right? She's super hopeful, filled with hope. She had a lot of expectations. She thought sobriety would instantly make her life easier, no more anxiety spirals, no more guilt-ridden mornings, no more emotional roller coaster. She imagined a calm, steady existence where everything just fell into place. But as time went by, she started to get frustrated, because she was waking up without a hangover, always good, right? But the stress at her job was still there. Her kids still argued and acted like maniacs. Her marriage still had its rough patches, right? And one night, after a super long day, she was exhausted. She was sitting on her couch and she called me and she's fighting back tears. And she's like, why does this feel so hard? Isn't sobriety supposed to fix all these things? And of course, we worked through the frustration together. And what she realized is sobriety doesn't erase life's challenges. It doesn't make your kids listen better or make your boss less demanding or make traffic disappear. What it does do is make you stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to face the challenges of life. So we reframed her expectations, right? Sobriety isn't about avoiding stress or no longer having hardships. It's about giving yourself the tools and clarity to navigate that stuff without turning to alcohol. And she got this and she really leaned into this new perspective, right? She totally had a shift. You're still going to have tough days, but instead of running from the feelings, you face them head on and you handle them with grace. And now when Sarah tells the story, she'll tell you sobriety isn't always easy, but it's worth it because even on her hardest days, she's showing up for her family in a way that she never could before. And that's the real magic. Not that life gets easier, but that you get better. So don't have these expectations that life is not going to be life anymore. You're still going to have all the stresses of life. But if you have an expectation that all of your life's troubles are going to disappear when you quit drinking and that life is going to get easy, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be mad and resentful. Alcohol and drugs are a symptom of the problem. The problem is we don't understand or cope with feelings well. So we use substances to numb the feelings so we don't have to feel them. That's the reality. You drink to manipulate your feelings and dodge responsibility. So when you quit drinking, all of that doesn't magically disappear. You're still going to have the life problems. You're still not going to like the feelings, but now you're sober. You have to figure out how to deal with them. And then you get mad because you thought putting down the drink was going to solve all your problems. But in truth, it's just the tip of the iceberg. This is why I say recovery is a long game. You know the person you want to be and the life you want to have. And that isn't going to magically appear just because you put down your glass of wine. It takes work and it takes time. But don't have unrealistic expectations of quick and magical healing. There's no question when you quit drinking, you'll feel better. Your anxiety will go down. You'll start to sleep better. You have more energy because you aren't poisoning yourself anymore. And you will have to do some work to heal the wounds and retrain the bad habits into good habits. And it's going to be uncomfortable sometimes, and it's going to be hard sometimes. And some days you're going to feel like crap. It's just that simple. And it's okay. You're not alone. You are super strong. You are so much stronger than you give yourself credit for. And you've already survived poisoning yourself, so surely you can survive recovery. The treatment for any illness is uncomfortable and has side effects, right? Our illness is no different. But don't have crazy expectations that turn into resentments when things don't go your way. Be realistic in your expectations. You're playing a long game for long-term results. And you're a warrior. Be a warrior. If something feels off or isn't going the way you thought it would or the way you wanted it to, take a second and reevaluate the situation and see what you can do to shift it. Could you be doing more? Do you need to be more patient? Are you being lazy? Are you being entitled? Could you be trying harder? Manage your expectations and be kind to yourself. And let me tell you, the number one mistake people make with expectations, this is the number one thing that will F you up and ruin everything. What most of you are doing is you're having expectations on other people's behavior. You create these expectations about how you want people to respond to you, what you want them to say to you, how you want them to treat you, all the accolades you want them to give you. how supportive you want them to be to you, right? It's all about you. The problem here is you don't have any control over other people's behavior. You got to step back and just let people be people. Stop trying to control them. Stop getting angry at them when they don't do what you want them to do and they don't behave the way you want them to. Leave people alone. The only thing you have control over is yourself. So I'm going to go back to this checklist and you'll notice when I rattled off all these things, it's about you. Could you be doing more? Do you need to be more patient? Are you being lazy? Are you being entitled? Could you be trying harder? You are the only thing you have control over. Stop having expectations on other people's behavior. Leave people alone. Focus on yourself. Focus on learning coping skills to deal with the people around you. Focus on learning communication skills to help deal with the people around you and however they're going through what they're going through with you. But you can't control their behavior. And as soon as they don't do what you want them to or act the way you want them to, you get pissed off and then you're resentful. And resentful recovery is not fun and doesn't feel good. It's imperative that you start to understand your expectations and manage those. Expectations are premeditated resentments. It will throw you off faster than anything. All right, let's move on to the next one. Lacking direction. You know you want to be sober. You know drinking is effing up your life. You know you want to stop, but you don't have a clear direction or any kind of a plan. The only thing you planned was not taking a drink. And that plan is not going to get you far. When you quit drinking, it leaves a lot of hours unoccupied because we spend a lot of hours drinking, thinking about drinking, recovering from drinking, planning drinking, inviting people to drink with us, going to the store to get the drinks, right? We spend a lot of hours engaging in these activities. So when you stop, it leaves a lot of hours. If you don't have a clear direction of where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, who you want to be as a sober person, then you don't have a compass to guide you. Does that make sense? You have to have some clarity in who you want to be in your sober life, how you want to live, the type of person you want to be, because that's what's going to guide you from moment to moment on what you do or what you don't do. You have to have direction. And of course, having some kind of plan really helps with that. Whether that means you swap your alcoholic beverage for a new non-alcoholic beverage. If you used to sit in the living room in your favorite chair, drinking your life away, don't just stop sitting in the chair, but change it. Move the chair to a different spot in the room or get a new chair or go to a whole new room. Create a whole new space for yourself to sit and enjoy your evenings. By changing your old habits and exchanging them for new ones, you're going to start making new connections in your brain, right? This is how you strengthen those muscles you haven't used for a long time. And when you do something new, you have to do it 5, 10 times just to get through the initial discomfort of doing something different. It's going to be uncomfortable. If you want to create a new habit of spending time in healthier places where there are non-drinking people, make a commitment to trying 5 different places and go to each of them 5 to 7 times. I understand the level of discomfort you're going to feel with all of this. I get it. I lived in that discomfort. But I learned that in order to change my life, I needed to embrace everything that was coming up. And this is what I mean about having a clear direction. I knew I wanted to be connected to people. I knew I wanted to have fun. I knew I wanted sober friends. I wanted to go places and do things with people just like me. So if that's what I want, then I have to take action to create that. That means going to places where sober people are and saying hello to sober people and accepting invitations to do things with sober people, even if they're things I wouldn't normally do. That's how I started making friends. When I was brand new, you've probably heard me tell this story 1,000 times. When I was brand new sober, I was invited to dinner with a group of women I didn't know. And of course, I didn't want to go. The committee in my head was screaming at me to go home because I wanted to go home and isolate because that's what I'm really good at, right? So the committee is screaming at me to say no, but I knew I had to go against the committee because the committee isn't trustworthy. The committee wants me to do what's comfortable. And if I am changing my life, that means I'm going to have to be uncomfortable. And I knew if I wanted to have sober friends and a fun, sober life, I had to be willing to be uncomfortable and hang out with sober people. Micro decisions, right? These split-second decisions that will change your life. No lifestyle is built overnight. It's taken me years to become who I am today. And every year I see massive growth because I have a clear direction. That's what I want you to have. And this will help with expectations too. Being accurate with your expectations, having a clear direction will help you have a sense of accomplishment rather than getting stuck in that trap of, I should be better than this by now. I should feel better. I should be farther along. First of all, every sober person has those thoughts. We all think the same things. At least once a week, I think that about something and I have to catch myself. And remember, everyone feels that way and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Nothing is supposed to be easy just because I want it to be easy. It's okay. If you don't have a plan, start creating a toolbox and support. You will flail with little success if you don't have a toolbox and support and start practicing these things. Have the understanding this is going to take time. You're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to make decisions with intention. And here's what I mean when I say intention, make decisions with intention, live intentionally. That means you think about each part of your day and you choose what actions to take. You choose what things you will do and not do, what things you'll decline. You choose what boundaries you set with people and situations. Remember my daily routine checklist I made for you? This is what it's all about. Intentionally choosing what steps you take and when you take them. And on my daily plan, I break it down into 3 parts of the day, morning, noon, and night. And I have a list of things to choose from, and I make sure I do one of the things from the list in one of those times. Easy peasy. And it's way easier when you have that kind of plan in place. If you want my plan, you can get it at addictionunlimited.com/plan. And I'll link it in the show notes for you too. So you can grab that and make things a little bit easier on yourself. Okay, the last one we're going to talk about is craving escape. This is the other little mindset pitfall that people don't understand that will really hold you back. This is a huge misconception, especially when we use the word craving. The truth is, you're not craving a drink. You're craving escape. We drink to numb and avoid feelings. We drink to numb anxiety, numb guilt, numb insecurity, numb indecision, numb fear, thousands of fears we have, right? When you get sober, you have no escape. You now have to provide the escape for yourself. You have to find what makes you feel better and gives you relief. And you have to be realistic in your expectations because the activities we enjoy sober are not anesthesia like alcohol is. Alcohol is a natural anesthetic. It numbs physical and emotional pain. Sobriety does not do that. So don't expect it to. You will be uncomfortable and you will survive. You have to build your survival muscles because you haven't used them in a long time because you used alcohol to survive everything. And building muscles takes time and energy and practice. You are perfectly capable of being uncomfortable and getting through it. No one has ever died from being uncomfortable, especially if you follow all the strategies and plans I map out for you. If you follow along and put the things in place that I suggest, you will definitely be able to get through these uncomfortable times. But don't get caught up in a craving and convince yourself you're craving a drink. What you're craving is an escape and relief from whatever you're feeling. When a craving pops up, label it. Label what you're feeling that you want to escape. The drink is just the fastest way to not feel. So it's not really the drink you want. It's the not feeling that you want. You want to numb, and the drink is what you've always used to numb. A drink is not your solution, though. Don't fool yourself. Keep that in mind. Alcohol is only the tool, and now you have to find new tools. If you want to feel better, then find things you enjoy and go do them. If you want friends, go make them. If you want hobbies, go find them. If you want sober people to hang out with, go where sober people are. Sober people are not going to get on a bus and show up at your house and ask to be your friend and spend time with you. A fairy is not going to show up at your doorstep with a perfect little life in a box where all your problems are solved and you are happy. It's not anyone else's responsibility to build you or build your life. It's yours. That means you have to invest the time and energy and sometimes money to explore new and different things, break down your anxiety, find activities you like to do, feel better, have fun. No one can do your work for you. It's your life. Create it to be whatever you want. But don't expect to sit around the house complaining about everything and not taking any action and wonder why you don't feel good and you aren't having any fun. And when we start to understand this feelings piece, right? You have a craving, you want to drink. What you really have to figure out is, what are you feeling in that moment? What are you really going through? And there are just a handful of the most common things, right? Boredom, loneliness, those are huge. Resentment, of course. And I learned it in AA. I don't know like where it originated or whatever. Of course, I got it in AA because all my best stuff comes from AA, is HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's just a quick checklist that I can do in a split second. Because for me, I still have cravings. It's not about alcohol, right? I don't give a shit about alcohol. I don't want to drink. I have no desire to ruin my life. But I will still have cravings for other things, behaviors, avoidance, procrastination, hiding, food, ice cream, right? I still will have cravings for all those things. And I use all of those things in the same way that you use alcohol. So I still have to be mindful. When my brain pops up and is like, ooh, we should go get some food or we should go get some ice cream, I have to go, wait a minute. I don't really want ice cream because, number one, it completely changes how I feel in a negative way. It makes me super tired. Then I get mad at myself because I'm really trying to not engage in sugar very much, if at all, right? So I get angry with myself. I'm disappointed in myself, right? And all these things happen. So when I have a craving for the ice cream, I have to stop and go, okay, what the fuck is really going on? Like, what am I feeling right now? Why does my brain want the numb? Why does my brain want the escape? Why does my brain want to go lay on the couch and watch Netflix instead of doing my work? Why does my brain want to go shopping and spend money that I should be spending on XYZ, right? All these things are the same, you guys. This is all the stuff that we use to escape and numb. So you have to figure out what's the underlying feeling. And I'll tell you that little checklist, HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, is a brilliant place to start. I am almost always at least 2 of those. But when I label and when I know what's really going on, then I can figure out a solution, right? If I'm home and just feeling some loneliness because I've been disconnected and maybe I've been working for 12 hours and haven't had a conversation with another human being, then okay, I'm lonely. So I reach out to some friends. Hey, what are you up to? What are you doing? Do you want to get together later this week, right? I can cure loneliness. I don't need a drink to cure loneliness. I don't need or ice cream to cure loneliness, right? I know what to do. When I can see what I'm feeling, I know what to do. If I'm bored, then I go, okay, Angela, get off your ass and go do something. Find something to do. Find something you enjoy and go fucking do it. Don't sit around and feel sorry for yourself and revel in the boredom and feel so sorry for yourself like you're a victim that you're bored. Like, get off your ass and go solve the fucking problem. That's where the checklist is so nice because it gives me a solution. But remember, the key players are boredom, loneliness, anger, resentment, right? Tired for sure. But those are really where to start. So if you have a craving, I want you to start with those feelings and just analyze, what am I feeling right now? Or fear. Fear is another huge one because we have so many fears about so many things. But identify what you're feeling and solve the feeling. Don't turn to a drink. A drink isn't going to do anything. You have to start solving the feelings and developing those coping skills to get through feelings. Feelings are not that big of a deal. I don't know why we cave into them. I was the same way when I was newly sober. I couldn't feel a feeling. I couldn't identify a feeling to save my life, right? It just felt like the end of the world. And they're really just not that big of a deal, honestly. We just have to get used to really facing them head on and being okay with it and being okay with being uncomfortable and creating that toolbox of people to talk to and resources to feel better and better manage the feelings and better understand the feelings. Then it all gets easy. That's when it gets really good. It just takes practice. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this. Sobriety isn't about eliminating the challenges of life. It's about equipping yourself to face those challenges with clarity and strength and resilience. Frustration is totally normal, and it's okay to feel like things should be easier sometimes. They should be. No question, life should be easier. Sobriety should be easier. I agree with you 1,000%. But remember, every step you take on this journey is building the tools and the confidence you need to navigate life on your terms. You're not just staying sober. You're becoming a stronger, more self-aware, and more capable person of handling whatever comes your way. So take a deep breath, celebrate your progress. Remember, you're a freaking warrior. You have no idea how strong you are. I promise you that. You are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. And that's what I want you to remind yourself of constantly every day. You are capable. Doesn't mean you're going to do it perfectly. Doesn't mean it's going to be graceful, but you are capable. You will figure it out and you will continue to get better at thriving. And then your life gets really good because you're in this for the long haul. You want long-term results, a beautiful life, and all those beautiful coping skills so life isn't so bothersome. And you're doing an amazing job. Don't forget, you can get the daily plan, addictionunlimited.com/plan. I'll put that in the show notes. And if you want to work with me, if you've been thinking about working with me and you wonder if we're a good fit to work together, book a free call with me. I'm happy to talk to you and see where you are in your journey and see what the right thing is for you. It might not be working with me, right? Or working in my 6-week program. That might not be the right thing, but we'll figure it out and I'll give you my honest thoughts on what you should focus on or what you should do or what might be the best fit for you. And that's addictionunlimited.com/call. Of course, that is always linked in the show notes of every episode, addictionunlimited.com/call. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you next week.
You've reached the end of another great episode of the Addiction Unlimited podcast. Candid and honest conversation about addiction and recovery. Be sure to visit us at addictionunlimited.com to join the conversation and access show notes and links to everything we talked about. Love this episode? Please take 30 seconds to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes to help us improve and give you the information you want. Thanks for listening. See you next week.